Cotton finishes. Just like with silk finishes, cotton finishes can be applied to many different varieties of fabric and fiber. However, these ones are the most common ones found amongst cotton fabrics. There are many finishes amongst the cotton family, but denim is one of the most commonly finished, and oftentimes with multiple finishes. There could be a whole class filled with the different types of finishes applied to denim and denim garments. However, I will only cover the most popular ones here now. The first one I will cover is stonewash. As the name indicates, this treatment uses large stones to soften denim before or after the garment has been sewn. The fabric is put into a large machine that resembles a tumble dryer with stones and allows for the friction of the stones rubbing on the fabric to soften it. Stonewashing can have different effects depending on how the process is applied. It's important to note that we see so many different finishes applied to denim because without finishing, it is incredibly tough and stiff. Acid wash denim. This was a very popular finish for denim in the 80s. Acid wash denim is a process where denim fabric is washed with pumice stones to soften it and then diluted in a bleach solution to lighten it. Acid is not used, only bleach. Acid wash denim is very light in color with a sort of splotchy all over appearance. Acid washing is very similar to stone washing. And in fact, acid washing is really just the addition of bleach to a stone wash. Sand wash denim. The sand washing process for denim is the same process as for silk. Sand-like material, or chemicals are rubbed, blasted, or washed onto the denim fabric. This produces a softened version of the fabric and raises a very subtle nap, giving the fabric a slight fuzzy feeling, making garments a bit more cozy to wear. Rinse wash denim. Rinse washing denim is very common. It can be done at different levels, light, medium, or heavy. The intent is to wash out excess dye, pre-shrink the fabric, soften the fabric, and give it a slightly more used look. Distressed denim. Distressed denim refers to denim fabric or garments made from denim that have undergone a process to simulate wear and tear on the fabric. Again, this process is very popular and almost all jeans today undergo a form of distressing. This is because denim in its raw and native unfinished state is incredibly stiff and uncomfortable to wear. Before these finishes became very popular and common on the market, people that bought jeans, jean pants, or jean jackets typically would undergo their own personal method of distressing denim, called breaking the pants, or breaking the jeans, or breaking the jacket, short for breaking it in. It would include any different of homemade methods used to break down the fibers a little bit, making the garments a bit more soft and comfortable to wear. Distressing can include a number of different finishing processes, including stone or sand washing, the grinding down of seams or pocket edges with tiny sanders, very much like your little Drummels with sandy heads, adding rips or tears to the denim, and the application of fading. The example here on the far right is a great example of distressing with many different methods used. As you can see, isolated rips and tears and little fraying edges have been applied to the denim jeans. Creases have been dyed in to simulate the wear and tear of sitting over and over again. The detail is small, but sandpaper or sanders have probably been used to grind down the edges of the pockets as well to soften them and give them a more worn look. Areas of fade have been added artificially as well. Many jeans sold today have heavy levels of distressing that include a lot of processes and add a lot of labor and time to the garment. This can make the garment more expensive. The GIF is showing a factory that specializes in the distressing of denim. As you can see, many different processes are applied. This man is sandblasting the denim jeans. They are buffing out the edges to make them soft. They are applying an overall rubbing of the fabric to soften the denim. These are just a few of the processes involved in distressing denim. Brushed cotton. In the intro to this series, we saw a brushing machine brushing fabric. Brushed cotton is made in that same way and is a type of mechanical finish. Brushed cotton is cotton fabric usually woven with a plain or twill weave because these weaves are strong enough to hold up to the brushing process. That fabric has been passed through a machine where the rollers with bristles will brush the fabric. The brushing finish pulls up small fibers and produces a fuzzy nap on the surface of the fabric. Flannel notably uses the brushed fabric and can be made in cotton or wool varieties. On the right is an example of a cotton flannel. The brushing finish gives fabric a softer drape with a fuzzy feeling. It's soft and cozy and is great for pajamas. It can also help the absorption properties of cotton. Satin finish. A satin finish should not be confused with the satin weave. The satin finish is not a weave and can be applied to any weave type or fiber, not just cotton. Satin finishes are chemical finishes that give fabric a glossy shine, like the satin weave can achieve. Cotton sateen is often treated with a satin finish to increase its luster. A cotton sateen treated with a satin finish is seen on the right. So this is a fabric that both has a satin weave and a satin finish. Plissé. Plissé finish uses a chemical solution of sodium hydroxide to shrink certain parts of the fabric. The result of the plissé finish creates a puckered fabric that is a similar texture to seersucker. It can often be incredibly difficult to tell the difference between a plissé finish and a seersucker finish. The difference is in how they are created. The plissé is a chemical finish to create the puckering. Seersucker uses a weaving technique to create its puckering. It staggers tightly held yarns and alternates them with slack yarns to create the puckering. Plissé is French for pleat, so many fabrics that look pleated can come under this name as well. However, plissé is a type of cotton fabric finished with the plissé process. Pre-shrunk and pre-wash. Pre-shrinking and pre-washing are two very common cotton finishes applied to fabric as well as garments. Most cotton garments today will come with pre-wash or pre-shrunk finishes. Both methods aim to stabilize the cotton fabric and prevent it from shrinking. This helps the dimensional stability of the garment or fabric. Dimensional stability is the ability for a fabric to retain its original shape and size. Pre-washing is as it sounds, and washes the fabric to reduce further shrinking and removes excess dye. Pre-shrinking is usually a process that applies heat and compaction pressure to reduce the amount of residual shrinking in a fabric or garment. Although pre-shrinking and pre-washing greatly increases the dimensional stability of a fabric or garment, there is always some residual shrinking that can occur. Starch. Starch is a white powdery carbohydrate often found in cooking. It can be found on its own to add thickness to sauces or naturally in foods like potatoes. When applied to cottons and different fabrics, it stiffens the fabric and helps clothing maintain sharp shapes. Fabric and clothing are often finished with starch before they are sold, but the starch can easily wash out, so customers or launderers must add back starch to their garments when they iron them to maintain their shape and stiffness. To the right is commercially sold laundering starch that one can spray onto their collared shirts to keep them stiff and looking sharp. Cotton collared shirts are the most often seen garments that utilize a starch finish and require starching after purchase. The shirts in the image have been pressed and starched by a professional laundering service. Parchmentizing. Parchmentizing is a finish applied to cotton and other fabrics made from plant fibers. Parchmentizing involves soaking the fabric in sulfuric acid, which produces a very thin and very crisp fabric. The sheer cotton fabric organdy gets its characteristic stiffness from this finish. This is a finish that is very much like starching. However, it creates an even stiffer finish than starch and does not wash out.